What's up, what's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we discuss the art, science, and business of comedy with comedians and comedian adjacent. With this episode's guest, John Kenneth. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, welcome to Done Way Past Funny, where we discuss the art, science, psychology, and business of comedy with comedians and comedian adjacent. I am your host, G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humourist at large, and I'm getting larger. My guest this episode is comedian and DJ and host of Sit Down Stand Up, John Kenneth. Welcome, John.
Hey, how are you, my friend GD?
I'm doing well. I'm doing
Good to
real.
see you.
If you do not mind, let the people who do not know who you are, tell them a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing comedy, where you're living, how they can stalk you on social media if you want to be stalked.
Yes,
The essentials.
I love getting stalked. Well, I am based out of New York City, and I've been doing stand-up for about 5 years, but I've been doing writing for about 20 years. So I was writing some screenplays and TV treatments and writing for a couple comics. And about 5 years ago, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot and do it on my own. And I've been on stage for about 5 years now, performing mostly around New York City. And I do DJ. I have a couple of shows. I have a show, like you mentioned, called Sit Down Stand Up, which I do on Tuesday afternoons on WFUT radio, where I interview comics, such as I interviewed you yesterday, which we had a lot of fun. And I also DJ. Actually, that's the picture that you used. That was me. That is me. On Sunday afternoons, I DJ on an FM radio station, Weeby 108 in Connecticut. And it's pop music, like a little Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, and that kind of stuff, which I kind of dig. But anyway, so that's my kind of DJ thing. Yeah.
Now, okay, I have to ask you this because you haven't had to deal with it yet because your show on Weeby is on Sundays.
On Sundays, right.
So you have not had a show since Taylor Swift got engaged.
That's right. And I would always tease, I get like 5 or 6 live breaks an hour on Weeby. One of them is the weather. One of them is I got to do a promo read. And then the other 3 is kind of like what I want to talk about. And I'm always kind of feeding any Taylor Swift updates. And it's always like, are they going to do it? They look pretty happy. They just got to have a restaurant and all that. Now they're getting engaged. They're getting hitched.
Now, but since this was announced a couple of days ago, I think, when you get to doing it in your show, you're going to be a little bit behind the curve. I mean, almost every Taylor Swift engagement joke that can be told or is going to be told by then.
Yeah.
So is that going to help you, like, weed down so that you know what does it help you or hurt you? Does it,
Well, I'll have an opportunity to weed out the really bad Taylor Swift jokes that have been told. So I'll try and steal the really good ones.
Oh, okay.
But I'm hoping that by the time I get back on, that there'll be some other nugget of news that's a little bit more current, because I'm sure with these social media butterflies, they're not just going to go, we're engaged, and then I'll see you in 6 months. I mean, they're going to be out and about. So I'm sure there's going to be some.
Yeah, because she's at the new tour. And
oh, yeah. She got a new album coming out October 4th. So
she's a very good businuswoman.
She's a machine.
Yeah, I'm not like a Taylor Swift fan, and the only times I know that I'm actually the company where I used to work, they used to play like music all the time, and I had no idea who most of these people are. And I wouldn't know Taylor Swift from Ariana Grande or anything. I wouldn't know, or Adele. I didn't know who was who. All I know was the women singing. I just didn't know. Right. And then, and since it was music at work, they never said who the artist was.
Right.
And so I would find out because maybe there's a TikTok short and there's like a snippet and somebody's using the music in the background and they'll say who the artist is, and that's how but that's it.
Yes, well, I have 2 daughters, so and, Taylor Swifties, they're Swifties. I mean, she's been around for, like, 20 years. I mean, she's been doing
Yes.
it since, like, 8 so it's not like she just came on. So, growing up with, my girls growing up, they were Swifties, so she was, in the house, so I got
How old
some
are your
nice
daughters?
and I'm sorry?
How old are your kids?
Well, they're older now, they're 29 and 25.
Well, I hope they're
Um,
older now. I mean, because
they're
like,
older
matter of fact,
now.
they're even older now. Matter of fact,
They're
they're
older
even older
now, yeah.
now.
But I gotta tell you, she is. I'm not. I'm not a huge pop music fan. I'm more like a classic rock guy. Uh,
Right.
but she's good. I mean, I find her very talented. She's a very accomplished songwriter, and I like her sound. I mean, I probably won't go see her in concert unless someone gives me tickets. But
I'll
she
work on that. Taylor, I know you're watching. Get John some tickets, please.
yeah, or Travis. If Travis, I'm a Bears fan too, so he's not gonna give me tickets.
Well, okay. Well, uh, all right, Travis. You and I go way back.
Yes, you do.
So just hit me up. I know you don't know John, but you know me. So give me the tickets, and I'll give them to John because I'm
You're,
not going to show up at
you're
the
so
show.
well connected, man. You're
I
jack of
look.
all trades.
Oh yeah. Well, I've done some things in my life. now, like I said, you do method, but you're doing a lot. You have so many hands in the fire, and you are so hot that people actually see John is so hot that they call him the humane torch. That's how hot he is right now.
It's hot.
He's he's
I
hot.
can't even sit. I'm boiling. I'm percolating
That's
all the time.
that's right. Now, so you got the video gigs, the sit down stand up gig,
Yeah.
um, and your stand up gig.
Yes.
Okay, you usually performing in New York for the most part, or
Pretty much. Yeah. There's a couple clubs I do a lot of work out of. Comic Strip Live on the Upper East Side. Broadway Comedy Club.
right,
By
the Red Room.
by Times Square. Great room. Greenwich Village Comedy Club. Do some work out there. And so a couple of comic friends of mine run some rooms out of Connecticut that I've been doing some things out of there, the Fairfield Comedy Circle. And I'm starting to do a little more kind of private stuff too. I just did a show out of the VFW in
Oh,
Westport,
okay.
Connecticut, which was phenomenal. I
Yeah.
mean, it was their first comedy night, and my buddy Joe Pontillo, who's a hysterical comic, asked me to come on the show, and there were I think four or five of us, and it was a packed house, probably like 90 people, a little older crowd, VFW
Right.
crowd,
Yeah.
amazing. They just were so just tons of energy and just expressive and responsive, and they're just so excited to have comics up there, and we made them laugh, and so I'm starting to reach out, but my goal is I'm originally from Chicago. Is so I've been doing pretty much all my comedy here in the New York City area. But my goal this fall, winter is to start branching out. Maybe get into Boston, come into other Northeast areas, get up to Baltimore, see that guy right there, and
And I'm trying to get up to Connecticut, so
yeah, and get into Chicago and do some stuff. And I also done some work out of the Stress Factory in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is a great club. Great club. They just had Pete Davidson there. They get some really they get some great names.
yeah. Well, I don't I will never be. I don't. I know people had like the pause. You have to think positive. Okay, I'm positive. I will never be that famous that I'll be like YouTube, not YouTube, Netflix or famous, that kind of thing. But my bucket list is to do comedy in all 50 states.
Oh wow! At the same
And
time.
oh, at the very same time, and not on streaming services. No, that
No,
anybody can
you
do
want to
that.
go to the physical. So you want to go to Alaska and get in an igloo and do some stand up.
Well, I can check Alaska off the list except for the igloo part.
Oh, you've done
But
Alaska comedy?
one.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Where?
yeah.
Like Anchorage or
Actually, cruise ship.
we did a cruise? Okay, that counts. Why not?
Yeah, and that was just it was not a paid gig, but I got to do 20 minutes on a cruise ship, and so the I don't want to make this about me. I want to talk about you. Damn it. So,
I'm interested in
let's
that.
talk about you. So, have you done a cruise ship? No, let me stop. No, no.
I get seasick way too easy. I can't do cruise ships.
Oh, you don't really feel the emotion sometimes.
Yeah, that's comforting. No, I would do the Alaska thing because that's like, I know that's like the only way to get in that inside passage. But in terms of like just going out in the open ocean, zero interest, zero desire. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah, well, now you had mentioned your two daughters,
Yes,
and now you could get into this much later. But since we brought them up, let's do this. Let's do this thing.
let's do it up.
Do they think you're funny?
They do. They do. I think I'm past the stage of doing dad jokes. But I've been how do I say it, entertaining them since they since they were able to walk and talk, by making them laugh. I've always been kind of the class and family clown,
Okay,
as a child. So because I was a small kid. I was very small. I didn't grow to like college. So the only way to protect myself was to make people laugh. So I didn't get the
right.
crap beaten out of me.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
I kind of got used to that. And then in my family, I got two brothers, and I was kind of always like the one that was always kind of cracking jokes and doing imitations at the dinner table and all that. So it's kind of like a second nature to me. Just kind of it's like my inner DNA. I'm always just
Right.
thinking. I'm always kind of I tend to be kind of witty. People think I'm witty. So, but I think when you're 29 and 25, they're past the stage of like, oh, he's got new material. I mean, I think it's just kind of part of the dialogue that they just kind of accept. So they're not like laughing like they used to. But I think I think they find me somewhat entertaining.
Okay, now this is not comedy related. This is just something I ask people who have kids. When it's usually kids at some point, when they're really young, they worship their parents. It's like,
Right.
and then at one point they just get embarrassed. They just like, don't hug me, Dad.
You
Don't
talking
hug
about
me in
my
front of my
wife or my
friends.
kids?
Well, let's talk about the kids right now. Don't hug me in front of my friends. Don't you know? Did your kids go through that, and how old were when they went through it?
I speak collectively for my wife and I. We've been very fortunate with our kids. They did not go through, and maybe because they're girls, I don't know, but they did not go through a period of wanting to get out of the room when we walked in. Like they were just like, as an example, like we're going on vacation Saturday, and they're coming with us.
Okay.
They'd actually like to be with us, and it's a road trip too. So it's not like we're hopping on a plane and hopping off, and then we could go. I mean, we're stuck in a car for. So they're okay. And like my daughter was, they were over last weekend, and we were sitting there watching television and what it was, and she was sitting next to me, and she just put her head on my shoulder. I mean,
And wait a minute, and she didn't ask for any money. She just did that
did
voluntarily.
it all for free. Although she's expecting something in return down the road, but
Oh,
um,
because usually that is like a precursor to I have laundry. What's for dinner? I
it's
need
weird
some
she does
money.
that more closer to Christmas, which is like I'm like, oh, that's nutty. That is nutty. Um, but
No,
yeah, so I mean, so that's kind of cool to have. It's not like she's 11; she's in her 20s, and she's still like, I think that's so cool.
so does your wife think you're funny?
Probably in the same camp as my daughters. I mean, like when we dated. We've been married 32 years, so when we were dating a long time ago, yeah, I think that's probably one of the things she liked about me was my sense of humor.
Right.
But I think same thing. You just maybe you get to the point where it's like we get it now. When our friends come over,
Right.
see, this is all right, GD. Here's the difference. See, when our friends come over, and like we were just visiting some friends in Montana, I'm not like I'm doing things that I did in front of my wife. Like, although some jokes are kind of like things I'll throw out, they will laugh, and then my wife will go, "Yeah, that's standard material for him." I mean, so she'll kill the moment. Like, yeah, I've heard this before, but they laugh. So I'm thinking like, it's still funny because someone's laughing, but they're not. So I'm cool with that.
Now, so in your circle, in your circle, who's the hardest one to make laugh? Um, and so that when you get a laugh out of them, you got something really good.
Oh man, it's probably my family, my wife and daughters, because I mean they're just so used to me being such a goofball all the time that I can try out some new material. Like for example, I wrote some new material for a show I just did last week at Broadway Comedy Club in the city, and we had some friends over, and I said I was telling me about the show, and I said, yeah, I wrote a couple new jokes, and I told one of them, and my wife laughed. She goes, "That's good." So I was like, now she didn't like laugh. Now my friends laughed. She
Right,
was like,
right.
"That's good." So she might be just be the pat. So the reflex of laughter is probably just completely numb on her. It just doesn't happen like it used to. But my friends laughed, so I'm like, all right, I'll take that as a good thing, you know.
Now, if you're when you're performing, if you don't hear a laugh, well, let's put it this way.
That's never
Other
happened before in my
other
life,
okay,
GD. It's never
uh,
happened before.
okay. Well, other than a laugh, what is your favorite audience response that you like to hear?
Oh my God. Um, I mean, as a comic, I mean, my God, laughter is like it's
Yeah,
intoxicating,
but
right?
after other than laughter, because we all want laughter, but let's say there's another sound that you hear. What would you want it to be?
Claps,
Okay.
because the clap is a clap that follows a laughter is affirmation that I laughed, and then I'm going to give you some icing. I'm going to throw some cherry to tell you
Yeah.
that I'm done laughing, but I still want to give you accolades.
Yeah.
And they give you the clap
Yeah.
as like, wow, that was really good. That's really rewarding. I had one of those last week, and that was incredible. You know,
And
when you have to wait a couple seconds before you
yeah.
start your next joke, that's fantastic too.
I I have to admit, when during my first 2 years, during the first 2 years of comedy, I got one of those laughs and then a loud applause.
See, that's
And the
great.
thing is, I knew the joke was good. I knew it was good,
Yeah.
but I knew it was good up here. And
Right.
then to get that affirmation, I literally took a bow. I went like, thank you,
They
because
appreciate that,
because I'm thinking I may never get this again.
right? See, that's the beauty of comedy is that So I'm a musician, so I played in some bands growing. I played in a cover band, and then I had an original project called the Simple Radicals, which were on Spotify and all that. And we were out doing playing live, and COVID had hit. And we got invited to play with some great bands like Molly Hatchet, Jefferson Starship. So we were going to play these festivals with band, and then COVID hit, so none of it happened. But
Oh,
so we were playing. We did play some. We played some music. We played a great room called the Cutting Room in New York City. And so I compare it to we're done playing the song, whether they liked it or not, they're gonna clap.
right.
And even during the song, they might be like this, and they could absolutely hate it. So you don't really know if it's like truly genuine. Like they're just appreciative and they're the courtesy clapping. But man, in comedy, there's no courtesy clap. There's no courtesy laugh, man. If they don't like it, they don't go. They don't just go. It's dead silent. So that's the beauty about comedy. It's like it's instant feedback. What if it doesn't work, then you know to take it out or figure out how to retool it.
My neighbor uh, gave me what I think is the funniest response to me not being funny that I've ever heard. Okay. I was outside my yard working, and he drove by and he stopped, he rolled down his window, and we're talking. And I said something that I thought was rather not like, I knew it wasn't ha ha funny. I mean, you know the difference, just like when you expect, but I thought it was amusing. I did think I thought it was worth a chuckle or something. And he looks at me and he goes, just so you know, I don't laugh on the inside. And, and I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh, that is so great. Because a lot of people go like, yeah, I was laughing on the inside. No, he
Yeah,
goes, I don't laugh on the inside.
it's either coming out or it ain't coming out. I
Yeah,
get
that's right. He's like, no, this is it. He didn't, he didn't say it's not funny. He goes, I just don't laugh on the inside. And I
So
thought that
basically
was
saying
so
it
great.
wasn't funny because if you didn't see me laugh on the outside, then I wasn't laughing. That's what
Yes.
he was doing.
And the worst thing about it, the funny thing is about it is that he doesn't even remember saying it. I was, I was, I was around some of his friends, and I was
Right.
telling him that story, and he goes, I said that? I said, yeah, just like that. And he goes, I mean, I feel that way, but I don't remember saying it. So,
So
now I
funny.
know. So now I know it's something that he feels, and he felt it so much that he blurted it out without even thinking about. He felt, it's like, oh man,
That is funny.
he says, I think that, but I didn't know I said it. I
That's
guess
hysterical.
I guess he couldn't help himself. So
That
that's
is very funny. That's funny. Well, he's very. That's genuine.
yeah, yeah. So we don't talk anymore. No.
I had him taken out, so he's no longer with us.
So now tell people about sit down stand up. Guys, we brushed it, but we didn't go like into any.
We
Yeah. So tell people about that.
we didn't go deep. Yeah. So sit
Right.
down stand up was a show that's probably I've been doing for like the last year and a half now, which is crazy. I guess maybe approaching 2 years. So um, I work out of the studio in Norwalk, Connecticut called Factory Underground. They're the ones who worked on my album, and then when I started doing comedy, they started helping me out with social media. Although I'm not really prolifically active in social media, but I will get there. I'm kind of setting up my websites and all that. And then I used to do a show a show called Music and a Brew when I was a musician, playing in the band where I'd interview rock stars and we'd drink beer and talk about their music and all that. So I love the idea of kind of doing a, kind of some kind of show. And we were just kind of shooting the crap. And they said, well, maybe you should do a comedy show. And I was like, there's so many podcasts out there. And they said, well, we have a radio station called WFUT Radio. Why don't we do a live show? I was like, now that sounds great. So every Tuesday, except when I'm out of town, but pretty much every Tuesday, I host this radio show on WFUT Radio, WFUTradio.com. And it's called Sit Down Stand Up, where I interview comics, I can say now around the world, because one of the comics I interviewed was from Tasmania.
Oh, okay.
Which is Australia. I had to confirm it wasn't just a cartoon character.
I was a Bugs Bunny fan. I know about
Yes, the devil. Right. So I interview comics from all around the country and, of course, now world. But and I interviewed you yesterday, and we do like a half-hour show and just talk about really my guests' comedy, how they got into it, their background. And help them plug their shows and their material, and just really talk about the comic. And I can't believe it's been going on for a year and a half already, and we've probably done like 70 shows. So it's great, love it.
Okay, I have a sample from the interview that we did. I guess it's a 2-minute sample, and to be honest, I don't know if it's the best sample because we just shot this in our time yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to rewatch it.
If you were on it, I'm sure it's great.
Oh, we'll see. Oh, well, there we go. Now, I might as well not show it now because here we go. It's about 2 minutes of it, I think.
Okay.
I know all the words to "Aha" Take on Me now. So.
Now that song I love. To me, that's not pop.
I like that song.
Yeah, to me, that's not pop.
That's not pop.
That's one of the songs that, matter of fact, when I could no longer hit that note, I was so depressed.
Wow, if you can hit that high.
I used to be able to hit it, and I can, even now to this day I can do most of that song, but the very end, when at the very end he just decides to show off and hit it. I'm like, oh mother.
Yeah.
I don't have underwear tight enough to do that.
He does. 30 seconds. All right. 30 seconds. You're the reverend, and you're leading us basically a service so you have your you have your congregation, which is the audience, and are you engaging them? Is it like a crowd work kind of show where you're like talking to congregants, or is it your kind of your delivery, your shtick?
It is crowd participation.
Okay.
Like I said, because it's just like a church. Like I said, it's just like a church. It's
You
crowd
pass the hat.
participation. So it starts off. It's a 90-minute show.
All right. Oh wow.
It's
Okay.
90 minutes, and it starts off
Dang.
with a sing along, so
All
that we can
right.
get the group involved.
What are you singing? What song is everyone
Well,
singing?
what usually it's one of two songs, and
All right.
I set up both songs, and I wait to see how the crowd looks, decide which one.
Okay.
One song is called "Bounce Your Boobies," and that's
Bounce your boobies.
"Bounce Your Boobies." And if there's a lot of women in the show, if it's like more women than guys, it's
Yeah.
"Bounce Your Boobies."
Okay.
And it's an old song sung by some woman. I can't remember, some comedian. I can't remember her name. I feel ashamed
All right.
now. But it's like
Okay.
"Bounce Your Boobies," da, 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 and it's just and she just, the song is like with her doing a little stand up and stuff. But
Mm.
that's one song. The other option is "My Dingaling" by Chuck Berry.
All right. Well, you're an equal opportunity offender. You go women and men too. You're humiliating body parts on both sexes, which I think is fair, especially these days.
I did not realize I that there's a graphic in there that I honestly I did not see it when I did that. I was like, I'm gonna end it here, and I didn't see that stuff, and I went, okay, I'm gonna go back a minute, and I didn't look at that stuff. I went to where it
Oh,
started, and
I
I
see.
just, booger. I will fix it in post. I will fix that in
Yeah,
post.
because I think the first one was one before we started. We
It
were.
is, yes, it
That's
was.
right. That okay, right. And then the second part was when we were in the show.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly
yeah.
right. That's exactly right.
Okay,
So I think I'm just gonna put a graphic over top of that in post because
okay.
they don't need to see what's on my history.
Right,
they,
right,
they
right,
don't need to see those files.
right.
They're not the government. So so now, yeah, so that's a sample of sit down, stand up.
Yes.
And you say you've been doing that for like a year and a half now?
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half, and the way I find comics is I go on these. I have a bunch of friends who are comics, so I'll reach out to them. And matter of fact, I'm not doing a show next week, but the week after, I think on the 9th, a guy that a friend of ours who watches our dogs when we go away, his cousin, I think his cousin was Sam Kinnison's bodyguard,
Okay.
and he's got some incredible stories and all that. So he's coming. He's actually in town, so he's going to be a live guest at the studio on the 9th. So I'm really excited about that. But a lot of times I just go on like these chat rooms. I think that's where I met you.
I was about to say, I think that's where I think we
Yeah.
in the
And
chat
I
room.
just go on these chat rooms, like, out in LA and Boston, New York City, and just kind of these national comedy. And I'm like, hey, I do this national radio show, and look, and I get, oh my God, yeah. And so I've never had any problem getting guests, which is great. So,
Now I do because I request a video that we could discuss, and a lot of people go. As a matter of fact, when I first started this, I I would get the first video that they had, so that we could talk about their growth as a comedian. It's like, because the first few sets you do, after,
painful.
yeah, they are painful. Even the
Painful.
good ones. I there was one comedian. Her name is Sandra Bernstein. Her first set was fucking killer,
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
fucking killer. But it was like at work. It was like at an office like talent show. It was like an office talent show. So she was like in home court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and but she was good. She was good, but she was home court, and she had the cooperation of the production team. So she even had like a slideshow presentation and stuff like that. And she tells me during the interview, she says, so that one went well, and she thought that comedy was going to be like that all the time. And the first time she did a club or a bar or something, she was like, "Oh my God, it stank so bad."
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was totally different because she wasn't in front of home court. There was no home court advantage.
Oh, got it. Got it. Yeah.
But it taught her a great deal because I call her the queen of the mom jokes.
Oh, really? Okay.
She writes jokes. I mean, I don't write jokes. I don't write jokes, and anybody who knows me, they always say I may accidentally have a joke, but I'm for the most part I'm a storyteller.
Storyteller. Funny,
So
entertaining stories, just
right,
engaging stories.
right, and I get laughs. To get laughs, it's not like I tell stories and people go like, no, no, I do get laughs.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
But I
my
don't, Hi, I'm GD Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist and host of Done Way Past Funny. You have just watched part 1 of our interview with comedian John Kenneth. Please join us as we continue our interview, and when you come back to join us, bring a friend.